Welcome to the Human Design Festival.
Live in Sofia and online worldwide. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the virtual space of the Human Design Element. We're organizing the International Human Design Festival live in Sofia from the 22nd to the 25th of January and online worldwide from the 30th of January till the 1st of February. And I'm so happy to present you our next guest speaker. This is the person who actually gave me my first mini reading and really started the fire in me about human design. So I'm so glad to have you with us, Ani. Hi.
Hi, thank you very much for this warm welcome.
Yeah, and we are so grateful for you to accept our invitation and have your brightening presence with us at the festival because you're one of my favorite lecturers, and I'm sure you're gonna love Anna. So, actually, for those who don't know you, who is Anna?
Well, this is as usual a very complicated question because by design, I'm entirely individual. So it is something that surprises me over and over again. Who is Anna? Simply put, I am, if I need to give some descriptions that are from the material plane, I am a human design analyst and a teacher, also a psychologist. I love teaching. This is one of my favorite activities in the whole wide world. And also, I'm an artist. I love painting, writing, and dancing. So I think these activities can describe me pretty well.
Yeah. And this year's festival slogan is Be in Your Element. So, what is your element?
Well, this is a very interesting question. I hope that my element is creativity. I'm not certain though, because there are moments when the creativity ceases. And again, by the nature of my design, it's there and it's not there. But I believe that this is the power that has moved me throughout my life. The ability to come up with something new, with something that hasn't been there, something that is original or different or somewhat unusual. And also creativity in the sense that there are always these processes within me that I reinvent myself and I find myself anew and I fall apart again. So it is like this constant creativity, creating and recreating the things around me and the things within me.
Beautifully said. And when you met human design and the concept of not taking decisions with your mind, what were your first thoughts and how are you actually dealing with your mind?
Well, first, when I met human design, this was the thing that I rebelled against. It was something that I simply couldn't take because I'm a very intellectual being. Also, when I met human design, I was already working as a psychologist and I was very much in my mind. I was my mind. So it was really difficult to actually hear something that suggests that possibly there is something within me that knows the truth much better than my mind. So I have this overactive mind, also defined head and ajna. So my mind always has something to say. It always has something to comment on the actions that I'm taking. And in the beginning, of course, I embarked on a journey of testing this new thing, responding. And the thing is that from the very first time I tried it, I felt this wave of comfort, this wave of satisfaction, the sense of this feels right. And it is so different than knowing that something is right. Because knowing in my head that something is right, sometimes I can justify all sorts of things with my crazy mind. But when it comes to feeling that something is exactly right, it's a very different sensation in the body, the very different kind of relaxation in the body, and also a very different sense of alignment, that I am on the right track, even when my mind believes that I should be elsewhere. So my mind is still very chatty, and it still has something to say when I make my decisions, and it interferes a lot. Sometimes it drives me crazy, but we coexist in a much more friendly way in the past 7 years than in the beginning of the experiment, somewhere in 2002, 2008. It was kind of difficult back then because it also had a lot of scary thoughts. a lot of thoughts that were suggesting all sorts of disasters and how I will literally end up on the street and so on. But then I didn't have the proof. Now I do have the proof because I have so many experiences that came through response. And I have enough so that I can let my mind chat and still present the mind with the evidence that, well, look what kind of life I have now that I'm responding. So I'll hear you out, but I'm not going to listen to you.
And do you have any tips actually for dealing with the mind for others?
Well, maybe the only tip I can suggest is to develop an observing self. We can call it the passenger. Like this attitude that you're not your mind. The mind is a part of you. It is an aspect of your being. And there is a bigger, greater part of you. And this bigger, greater part is the observing self, the self that can stand one step away from the mind and can listen to it and recognize a thought. And it can say, I'm observing that I'm having a thought. And then if you take one step further, you can say to yourself, oh, I'm observing that I'm observing that I'm having a thought. And creating this distance is kind of liberating enough so that the mind doesn't wiggle you around, doesn't drive you crazy, doesn't make you do stuff that you're going to regret afterwards. So I believe that this development of the observing mind is precious, because the observing self is precious, because then it can help you observe your conditioning while it happens, because it's inevitable. You will always get conditioned. So it's really helpful when you have this observing self to say, oh, I am noticing how the wave of emotion is filling me up, and probably I'm just about to do something stupid, but I can see myself that I'm about to do something stupid. And then you can have kindness and compassion towards yourself, even if you do something stupid. So this could be the only advice. And it takes time, of course, to develop this observing self, because mind is so convincing.
Mhm. You're making such a good point to have compassion for ourselves. We can be so judgmental when we catch ourselves. Yeah. And was there a real before and after you met human design, or you already were? It's not the first system to actually discover and look through our inner and bodily wisdom. But for you, was there a before and after?
Well, I think the greatest before and after was related to living from my mind to living through my truth. Because before this, I knew a lot. I had come across many systems. I had studied many things, and even the belief that I understand more through psychology was also something that was influencing me. But all of this was very intellectual. It was happening up there in the head. And I believed that I'm grasping the world and the human beings through my intellectual understanding, which is very far removed from really getting in touch with feelings, with myself, with an actual experience, to actually be in the experience fully, not in my head, not to understand it, not to intellectualize. So I believe that the true before and after, and not only about all the changes that followed and the dramatic shift in direction that followed, but actually it was about learning to be inside my body and to fully experience what is going on, no matter whether it seems nice, pleasant, taking me in the correct direction or not, because my mind, as I said, it always has something to say about it. But it was this presence, being able to sit in the moment and to be able to be fully in the moment, to be engaged with whatever is going on, which when you're intellectualizing life is not possible, because it keeps you at arm's length from whatever is going on, as a kind of a protection.
Yeah. And as a psychologist, I know that you specialize in couples therapy, and also with human design. I know it's one of your favorite analysis and teachings. What would you suggest or advise couples?
Well, every couple is different, so the advice will vary. Inevitably, it will vary. But probably the what lies at the foundation is to be able to to hold two different perspectives at once, which means to stay connected to your own truth and be brave enough to actually communicate your truth to the people, to the partner that you're having, to be able to speak your truth, to be able to follow your truth without the fear that you're going to be rejected or abandoned or that you're going to lose the relationship. And on the other hand, to be open for the difference that the other person brings, so that you can come out of your belief, your limitation that says that the way you see the world is the most correct way, that the way you believe things should be done is the best way, and so on. But to be able to see that you're having an encounter, and this is something very special, an encounter with someone who is different. They're designed to be absolutely uniquely different from you. And you have to interact with this uniquely different being. And at times it can be maddening, it can be driving you crazy, but in the same time, it can be so beautiful and so enriching. So what I would advise is to appreciate both your own uniqueness with your own limitations, and to be able to see the other person as different and as completely separate from you. Because sometimes in couples, people, in their fear that they might lose the relationship or their own autonomy, they tend to try to control the other, to control their behavior, to make them change so that they experience much less discomfort from the relationship. Because usually what we tend to believe is that if I feel pain, it is because of you. So if you were to change, everything would be fine. And of course, it never is, because we're two separate beings. And this acknowledgement of two different realities, two separate beings who independently choose to be together, this is precious. It changes the nature of the relationship, and it changes the quality of the relationship.
And what is the most challenging thing actually in working with couples and partnerships?
To stay neutral, not to have someone that you like more than the other, not to take sides. And for me, it is a personal journey of and being in the stage on the roof, to stay objective, to keep my neutrality and to observe what's going on, knowing that both partners are contributing to what's going on, and not to lean towards one or towards the other.
Amazing. Actually, I will share something. Richard Beaumont, who is the teacher who actually we both studied from, told us when we were doing the PTL2, the partnerships, he said, never make an analysis without the presence of both partners.
Mm-hmm.
I only once did the mistake to give in to the plea of one of the partners to do, instead of life analysis, to do recording. They promised me that they will give the recording to the other partner. And afterwards they didn't. So, or the other partner suddenly didn't want to hear it or something. So really, I could see how important it is to have both partners together. And actually, this is a prelude and prerequisite to not take sides. When you have both of them, it's so much easier not to take sides and stay neutral. So thank you very much for this observation. I find it very important.
But of course, what you're pointing out is essential, because the moment you see only one person, they're going to pull you into their truth, their story, their version of reality. And then it is, unfortunately, this kind of information is used to batter the other partner over the head, or to believe that they can have control over them, which is in both cases not helpful. It's not helping the relationship, it's not helping the partners. So when you have both partners for analysis, this is the only moment when a partnership analysis can be truly useful, because both of them can see how they are different and in what ways they can create discomfort for each other, and to, again, have compassion.
Yeah. Well, I cannot wait to hear your offering, your lecture. And guys, if you want to experience Anna firsthand, and it's really worth it, I can tell you, I know her for maybe already 20 years. And every time I'm surprised and in awe from what I hear. She has always something new to bring, as she said herself, a new perspective. So yeah, I'm super excited to have her join us live in Sofia. And you're welcome to join. Would you like to join us? Yeah, thank you so much for your time and accepting our invitation. People will be lucky to join your lecture.
Thank you very much for having me and for all the beautiful questions that you gave me.
Okay. Well, see you soon, guys. See you soon, Annie. Bye.
Bye bye.
Would you like to join us?
And truly be in your element.